guiding you through a yoga class designed for yoga and fertility. This class is specifically designed for the first half of your cycle leading up to ovulation. Our poses are going to focus on stimulating the ovaries to produce follicles to release a high-quality egg. So the idea is to get things moving, get things grooving, sending the blood flow in the right areas so we can produce a high-quality egg for you to have that baby. So what you need today is a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, a pillow will do, a yoga strap, and a block. And towards the end of the class, we're going to do legs up the wall. So you just want to make sure you have a space in your home where there's free of pictures and free of anything that you might knock over with your feet. And a yoga mat, loose clothing, bottled water, and that should be it. At any point during this practice, if you feel like you want to sit in a pose a little bit longer, feel free to pause the video and stay in that pose as long as you like. The idea is to really increase the yin side of our energy and just to give us relaxation, peace of mind, and at the same time, we're bringing energy, creating blood flow in all those organs that often sit stagnant. All right, so we will begin. Oh, another thing, I'm not playing music because YouTube will censor me and tell me I can't because of, what's it called? Copyright. So feel free to play music in the background so it's not so quiet and just hearing my voice. Okay, so now we will start. We are going to start by lying on our back, and we're going to work on centering and calming the body. So just go ahead and lay down onto your back. Get nice and comfortable. We're going to place one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest. We're going to release the legs down. Gently close your eyes and focus on the breath. So as you lie here, you want to think about filling the belly completely on your inhalation. And then as you release in your exhale, allowing all the air to just escape out of the body. So again, big, complete inhale, filling the belly. Full, complete exhale. We're going to do this a few more times at your own pace. Try to release the tension in your shoulders. Release the tension between the eyes and the jaw. Now we're going to slowly open our eyes and we're going to bring our knees into our chest. So we're placing our hands on the knees and we're gently circling the knees in one direction, keeping a nice even breath going with the circles. Try to make this mostly about the breath, with the movement just following the lead of the breath. So inhale and exhale. Just gently circling those knees. Doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be small. Then after a few circles, pause and switch directions. So rotating it the opposite direction. So this action massages the sacrum, bringing energy into the low end of the spine. Sacrum is part of the reproductive energy center, so keeping that circulation going is very important. Now release the feet to the mat. And we're going to do pelvic tilts. So with your exhale, gently tilt the pelvic, pressing the low back into the ground. And with your inhale, release and let the low back come up again. And do this a few times. So exhale, push the lower back down. Inhale, release. Exhale, tilting the pelvis, pressing the lower back down. Inhaling, release the spine off the mat. Do this a few more times at your own pace, really focusing on the breath. And now we're going to reach for our strap, if you'd like, and we're going to move into the outer hip stretch, or the number 4 pose. So you're going to wrap the strap around, it doesn't matter which leg, but you're going to wrap it around the outside of the shin, and you're going to pull with both ends of the strap while the other leg is the ankles over the knee. And you're just going to pull to stretch that outer hip. If you don't want to use the strap, you may choose to let go of the strap and just use your hands pulling your leg in for a deeper stretch. And focus on your breathing. And we're going to release and do the other side. So I'm going to show you with the other side, not using the strap. I'm placing my hands underneath my knee and I'm pulling in, using my elbow to push the knee that's up out to get a deeper stretch in my outer hip. We're holding the stretch, focusing on our breath for a little bit longer. Now we're going to release the feet to the floor, and we're going to open our knees wide, bringing the soles of our feet together in a reclined Cobblers pose. So bringing your hands to your low belly, and we're just resting here. So we're just allowing gravity to do its work. This pose opens and relaxes the whole pelvic bowl, allowing the organs of the pelvic bowl to release any tension they are holding. So just relaxing here. If you're having any strain in your inner groin area or your knees, just place a pillow on the outside of your knees so your knees are propped up. This should feel very relaxing. Closing your eyes, feeling the rise and fall of your belly. And now we're going to bring our knees up, and we're going to do our bent knee twist. So we're starting with our knees bent, feet on the floor, and we're just going to move our hands out, our arms out to the sides like a T with your palms facing up, and rotate your knees to one side of your body, rotating your head in the opposite direction. We're just relaxing, allowing again gravity to help us twist here. So we're not holding any tension, we're just lying in this gentle twist position. Working on slowing the breath and focusing our mind on the breath. And now we're going to lift our knees up, placing the feet on the floor, adjusting our hips if we need, and twisting to the opposite side. So you're bringing your legs, your knees to the other side, and then gently turning your head in the opposite direction. So twists like this are cleansing and rejuvenating for the organs and glands in the abdominal area. Basically, as you twist, the blood is squeezed out of those organs and glands like wringing out a sponge. And as you come out of the twist, a fresh blood supply is delivered to them, nourishing the organs and glands. Now we're going to bring the knees back to the center, lowering the feet to the mat. We're going to rotate to one side and then gently using our hands to push us off the earth into a tabletop position, getting ourselves ready for a cat-cow. So you're in your hands and knees. The knees are underneath your hips and the wrists are underneath your shoulders. You're going to inhale and do cow, and then exhale into cat. Inhaling, dropping the belly, gazing upward. And then exhaling, rounding, curving the spine, dropping the head. And then again, inhale, tilt your tailbone up and arch your back. Looking forward, drawing the shoulders back away from the ears. And then exhale, tilting your tailbone down toward the floor and rounding your spine. Again, inhale, cat, cow. Exhale, cat. Allowing the breath to initiate the movement. We're going to find ourselves into tabletop and we're going to do our cat-cow circle. So rounding the spine, looping it in circles. It can be big, it can be small. Do what feels good for your body. You can rock forward and back as you do this, but this should feel pretty good and pretty freeing. And then rotate in the opposite direction. Don't forget to breathe. We're releasing all the tension in the pelvis, the rib cage, and shoulders, so it should feel really, really good. Now we're going to come into our last cat, releasing the belly down into a cow, and we're going to send our hips back into child's pose. So our hips releasing, sending our hips onto our heels, stretching our arms forward, and allowing the back to just stretch out and lengthen. Your forehead is resting on the mat. If your forehead and neck doesn't feel comfortable, you can bring your hands together and rest your head on the top of your hands. And let your toes release and just breathe. And if you'd like, you can rotate to one side, so walking the hands to one side. Stretching the side body here. And then slowly walking your hands back through center and to the opposite direction. Now we're going to walk our hands back to the center, resting one more time in child's pose here. Really lengthening the spine, pressing the chest into the mat, lowering, feeling the stretch in the shoulders. And we're going to come up to a table position, tucking the toes underneath, so hooking them down. And we're going to move into downward dog slowly. So we are going to lift our knees, hovering off the mat, bringing our belly on top of our thighs, and then sending our heels down into the mat as we lift our tailbone skywards. Don't worry if your heels can't reach the mat. This is all about stretching the hamstrings. If you'd like to walk your dog, bending one leg at a time, you may choose to do so. Rising up on the top of the tippy toes and then back down, releasing the neck, shaking your head yes and no, no tension here. So we're doing an inverted V. Pressing through the shoulders, gazing at the knees. Holding here for another breath or two. And looking forward, we're going to carefully bend our knees, opening our knees a little wider and sending our hips back to our heels in child's pose one last time. We're going to do a different modification here. We're going to bring our hands along the sides of our legs. So this feels a little different than when our arms are stretched outward. If this doesn't feel comfortable for you, then just bring your arms straight out like we did before. And now we're going to bring our hands to the mat and lift our body up. And we're going to slowly, mindfully, with grace, lower our bodies down. So we're on our bellies here. We're going to clasp our hands together behind our body. And on the inhale, you're going to rise up, head and shoulders up away from the floor, and then we're going to exhale down. And we're going to inhale using the arms to lift our shoulders, neck, and chest off the floor, and release down. And again, inhale, long neck, tight shoulders looking up, and exhale, lower your head and shoulders back to the floor. And again, inhale, lifting, pressing the toes into the mat, lifting the chest, exhale, back down. And now you're going to bring the forearms and hands to the mat, lifting up your chest, and then we're going to release it back down. So on an inhale, pressing through the hands and forearms, and raise the head and shoulders up away from the floor, and then exhale, lower back down. And again, inhaling, pressing the hands into the mat as we lift the chest and the shoulders and the head up off, and exhale, lowering it back down. Again, using the arms to lift your chest and head and shoulders up, exhale, rolling back down. So with the forehead still on the mat, we're going to bring our hands underneath us so the middle joints of the fingers touch the pubic bone and the thumbs touch each other. Make sure the forearms are inside of the hip bones. And we're going to lift one leg up, and then we're going to exhale it down. So inhale, rising the left leg up, and then exhaling, bringing it down. So we're going to be careful not to raise the hip or tilt the pelvis. We're just lifting the leg. We're going to do this a few more times. So make sure we're lifting the leg up on the inhale and releasing it on the exhale. And then switching legs, inhaling up, keeping the hip flat on the floor, and then exhaling it down. Bringing the leg up, exhaling down. And then try both legs if you'd like, and then releasing to the mat. Bringing our palms back to the mat, we're going to lift our body up and off the mat, opening our knees and resting in child's pose for a moment, sending the hips to the heels, arms out, stretch forward, releasing any low back tension we have. And then we're going to come back up to tabletop position. We're going to send our right leg forward into a low lunge, so making sure the knee and ankle are in line with each other. We're going to bring our arms up, so resting your palms on just above your knee if you'd like, or if you want a little bit more challenge, bringing your arms up close to your ears, releasing the shoulders down from the ears, hugging in the navel to the spine, and we're going to release down. Sending that right leg back, we're going to switch into the opposite direction. So bringing the left leg forward, knee in line with the ankle. Inhaling, we're going to bring our palms up to our knees. You may stay here if you'd like. We're focusing on opening that hip, or we can bring our arms up next to our ears. Breathing here, really releasing into that hip, nice, wonderful hip opener. And we're going to exhale the hands down. We're going to step forward with our right leg, and we're going to slowly roll up one vertebra at a time with our head arriving last, lifting the shoulders up and releasing them down the back. And we're going to stand in a strong mountain pose. So the crown of the head reaching up, long neck, tailbone down, energy through the floor as it's also going through your head. Inhaling, exhaling, strong, strong mountain. Revisiting any intentions you set at the beginning of your practice. And now we're going to move to the center of our mat, placing your hands on your hips. So your feet are going to be just hip distance apart. And you're going to take your hips and you're just going to circle them in one direction, bending the knees slightly as you circle. And the object of this pose is to get as much range of motion in the hips as you can. So keeping a smooth, even breath as you move. We're going to do one side, one direction, a few times. Really taking time to feel any feels in the low back. And then we're going to rotate and circle the hips in the opposite direction. Notice if one direction feels easier than the other. Maybe you need to spend a little more time on the second side. I know I did. My second rotation felt a little sore in my low back. Rotating around, and we're going to come to a mountain pose. Again, bringing our hands to our hips, we're going to move to a tree pose. So you can rest your foot to your shin or move it into a full tree expression, never resting the foot on the knee. Hands are in prayer. Focusing on the breath here, pushing the foot into the thigh into the foot to maintain your balance. And if you'd like to move your hands directly up into a V shape, gazing upwards, maybe where the ceiling and the wall meet. And then bringing our palms together and slowly back to your heart center, releasing the foot to the mat, and we're going to prepare to do the opposite side. So in your tree, if it's not comfortable or your balance is wobbly, feel free to move to the wall or use a chair to hold on to steady yourself. Holding your hands at your heart center in prayer position, your foot up in your tree, keeping in mind that every side is different. And then if you'd like, full expression with the arms out and up, gazing upward, maybe a slight smile, feeling free, lifting the heart center, squeezing the foot to the thigh to the foot, and then bringing the palms back down to your heart center as you release the foot to the mat. And now you can grab your block if you have it handy, and we're going to set it right in front of us, right in front of our feet, and we're going to get ready to go into a wide standing forward fold. So standing with your feet about 3 feet apart, facing one of the long edges of your mat, place your hands on your hips, and you're going to take an inhale, arching back, a little mini back bend, and then exhale, folding forward at the hips. And you're going to release the hands to the ground if you can. If not, you can use the block to rest your hands. And what's great about the block is it has 3 levels. That, what I'm showing you, is the lowest level, that's the mid-level, and then you have the highest level. So lots of support here. So choose what works best for you, or no block at all. And now we're going to place one hand on the block or the mat, and we're going to inhale the opposite arm. We're going to sweep it up into a twist. So sweeping one arm up as we twist to the side, looking towards that hand if you can, and then exhaling it, releasing it back down, and with the next inhale, releasing, twisting upward with the opposite arm. Trying to maintain level hips here, so don't raise one hip. And then exhale, both arms down, looking forward, releasing back into a wide-legged forward fold. This should feel really great. And then hands to our hips, we're going to inhale up to standing, bringing the feet back together. Standing in mountain, we're going to roll our shoulders up to our ears and release them down our back. Sending the crown of the head up, rooting down with our feet down. Breathing. And then we're going to slowly make our way back down to the mat in an easy sitting position, Sukhasana. So we're going to crisscross applesauce. And you may use a bolster to sit your sitting bones on top of, or your block, or just sit flat on your mat. We're going to bring our hands to our shoulders, and we're going to do some shoulder stretches. So with an inhale, bringing the elbows up towards your ears, and then exhale, sending them back, rounding as much as you can. So try to make this motion really, really big. It should feel really great. Inhaling the elbows up and exhaling them down. Inhaling them up and exhaling them down. Feel free to allow the breath to actually make a sound. And then rotating one ear to the shoulder, chin to chest, and then the opposite ear to the opposite shoulder. And then dropping the chin to the chest as we rotate the head again. Releasing tension in the neck. And last time, we're going to bring our chin to our chest, and we're going to lift the head up to a neutral position, rotating the shoulders up and down, getting some kinks out. And now we're going to move into a Cobblers pose with heart opener. So we're going to bring the soles of our feet together, keeping our knees spread wide with our hands behind us, We're going to use our hands to lift the chest up and forward, lengthening the spine, expanding the chest, allowing the knees to open a little bit wider. And then we're going to bring our hands to our feet, and we're going to keep our spine as lengthened as long as possible. If you feel it about to round, then bring yourself back up. So we're just forward folding in our cobbler's pose here. And then come back up. And now we're just going to sit again in easy sitting position, crisscross applesauce, resting our hands on our knees. We're going to do some pelvic floor contractions. So on your exhale, you're going to gently lift the pelvic floor, squeezing all the muscles in there, not too hard. On a scale of 1 to 10, about a 6 or a 7. And then on your inhale, you're going to gently release the squeeze, relaxing the pelvic floor as completely as you can. So exhale, squeeze the pelvic floor, and then inhale, release. We're going to do this about 10 times on your own. So I like to close my eyes because it's a little hard to concentrate. So just remember, exhale, squeeze, and inhale, release. And now we're going to just twist our body to one side, doesn't matter what side. Spinal twist here, so putting opposite arm to opposite knee, the other arm behind you as you twist. So inhale, lengthen the spine, exhale, release. And then we're going to do the other side. So twisting the spine, inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen the spine, the crown of the head, exhale, twisting the spine away from the knee. And then bring it back to center. And so now we're going to move our mat to the wall, if it's not there already, and to get ourselves set up for legs up the wall, our relaxation pose here. So a couple options here. You can use your bolster or pillow or nothing at all. And I'm going to demonstrate how to get into this legs up the wall. It can be a little tricky, so you just want to come in kind of at an angle, rolling your hips up, and your legs along the wall. So here I'm showing you what it looks like to be on the bolster, or if you have a pillow, and then you're just going to rest your hands on your belly. Some feet options, you can move into Cobblers pose, where your soles of your feet are together, knees wide, or legs straight out. And we're just going to become really comfortable and cozy in this legs up the wall pose, completely relaxing the mind, closing the eyes, releasing the tension between the eyes and the jaw, and just allowing yourself to be. Focusing on the breath, the rise and fall of your belly. And we're going to be here for about 5 minutes. So just relax and enjoy the stillness. And now we're going to come back to the space, with our legs up the wall, bringing the awareness back to our body. And no, legs up the wall can be practiced anytime, and it's great to do it for 5 minutes every single day if you can do that, especially right before bed. It helps to calm the mind and the body. We're going to bring our legs, bend our knees down, rolling to one side, pausing for just a moment before bringing ourselves up. And we're going to move into our final resting pose, Shavasana, or corpse pose. So I move my mat away from the wall, and I'm using a bolster to rest my thighs on. So you can choose to do this or just release your legs completely flat along the floor. Palms open, resting gently along the sides. Here we're just going to work on letting go. No tension in the forehead, no tension between the eyes. Releasing the tension in the jaw, feeling where your head meets the floor. Releasing tension in the neck and the shoulders. Relaxing in the belly, the hips, the thighs, the knees. Releasing the shins and the feet, gently rolling away. We're going to use this moment to feel completely supported from the floor beneath you. With each exhale, allow your body to feel heavy and relaxed. There is no effort needed here. Allow your body to rest back into the mat as you relax and open your palms, open, ready to receive the gifts of your practice. Know if your mind wanders, acknowledge the tendency, allow the thoughts to come, and allow the thoughts to go with each breath. And just know corpse pose allows all the benefits of your practice to integrate into your body, mind, and spirit. It relieves stress and can lower blood pressure. And so now I'm going to stop talking as you reach a deep state of relaxation, and I will bring you back when the time is done. Bringing the awareness back to the body now. Slowly wiggling the toes and the fingers. Maybe taking a giant stretch, arms overhead. Peeling the low back off the mat as we gently, mindfully roll to one side of the body. Pausing here, resting your head on your arm. Giving yourself gratitude for showing up on your mat today and practicing yoga to increase your chances of fertility. And then we're going to slowly come to a sitting position, legs crossed gently, and we're going to close our eyes to seal our practice in a short silent meditation. You may choose to keep your palms forward, again, to receive the gifts, or you can bring your hands to your heart center. And as we have our hands in our heart center at prayer, we're going to bring our thumbs to our forehead, reminding us to think positive thoughts. Thumbs to our lips, speaking truth and love. And then hands to our heart center, sending love to every being that we meet. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me in this yoga session for fertility. I hope you feel relaxed and restored and rejuvenated. Remember, this class was for your first half of your cycle, and the other one for the second half of your cycle is already posted. So I hope you continue to practice during your journey for fertility, and have a great day. Namaste.